Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, guys. I am so happy to be here with you guys and that I feel better. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I have my voice is stronger this time and I'm so happy about that. So it means the world to me. So hello, beautiful. If no one told you you are beautiful today, let me be the first. You are listening to the Estrogen Chronicles, Her Plate, Her Power. I'm your host, functional nutritionist Gail Thorpe. So what I would like for you to do is grab your pen and your paper and your tea or coffee, and let's get into it. Okay, guys, we talked about last week, we talked about perimenopause. And as I mentioned to you, that's the transitional phase that a woman goes through before she hits what? Menopause. So this week was part two, or is part two, and we're going to talk about menopause this week, okay? So what exactly is menopause? Now, the unfortunate thing is that, and wait, just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I am back. The unfortunate thing about menopause is that it is something that we all go through. But the unfortunate thing is there's so much mystery around it. Sometimes people think that, when they have the different symptoms that they have that I talked about last week, is that's menopause. But they forget to or fail to know that's perimenopause, right? That's a transitional phase that you go through. But it's just so much mystique around it. A lot of people don't talk about it, and it's such an important thing. It's a natural occurrence that happens to us ladies, right? But we need to discuss it. So menopause is really a natural biological process that marks the end of a woman's menstrual cycle. So usually if you are without a period 12 consecutive months, it pretty much signifies the end of fertility. And, unfortunately, that will be the end of, like I said, childbearing. So we are a lot of times happy when that happens because you have a break, right? You have a nice long break, but it also can be trying, or maybe a little sad for someone who didn't have a child and, because of, working hard maybe, or maybe didn't find the right partner. And now, unfortunately, this has happened. But, we have to look at things on the bright side. So typically this is happening between the age of 45 and 55. Usually the average time frame is about 51 that you're going to go through that. Okay. So with the perimenopause that we talked about last week, and if you didn't catch that particular segment, make sure you check it out. It's listed as part of the episodes. That is, as I mentioned, the transitional phase, and that usually happens several years before menopause actually kicks in. And that's when you have all of the different hormonal fluctuations. Now, early menopause can also happen before age 45. Okay? And then you can have premature menopause before age 40. Wow. So it just depends. It depends on the person. It depends on, the person as far as their hormones, their genetics. A lot of things go into play. So what are some of the symptoms that we are looking for when we're going through menopause? Okay. So we're going to have irregular periods. We talked about that with the perimenopause. So basically with the perimenopause, you are in transition. And this is when the hot flashes and things start. Now, when you go into full menopause, you may have some of those symptoms still, but they're more so stabilized, as we talked about last week. So you may have irregular periods. You may have still hot flashes, night sweats. You can have mood swings or irritability that we talked about, sleep disturbances, vaginal dryness, decreased libido, and you have that memory or concentration issues, which is the brain fog. You may have weight gain, especially around the abdomen. You may have thinning hair and dry skin. And you may have also joint and muscle aches. So as I mentioned last week, ladies, if you're starting to experience these things, so whether you're in perimenopause or now full-fledged, these things are normal to experience, especially if you're within that age range. But I also suggest that you get tested to make sure, because sometimes it could, symptoms can actually duplicate chronic conditions or possible disease. So we want to make sure that you are really in menopause, but most likely you are. Okay. We talked a little bit about some of the foods to help balance out foods that you want to take in and foods that you don't want to take in during this time period. Okay. So it's basically similar, same process, but I want to just reiterate. These are foods that help balance your hormones. These are foods that I'm about to mention that help to reduce the symptoms and support your overall health. So we want to look at the soy and the tofu. Remember, those are phytoestrogens, because you start to lose a lot of the estrogen. So you do have to have some balance of estrogen in your body, and that helps with that. You want to look at the flax seeds. You want to look at whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, or oats. You want to look at the leafy greens. That helps with your calcium and for your magnesium, because now that you're starting to lose some things, you can start to get osteoporosis and curvation of your back. You don't want that to happen. So you want to try to keep that calcium going and the magnesium. You want to have berries, and it helps, of course, with antioxidants in your cells. You want to have nuts and seeds. Those are your healthy fats. You want to do fatty fish, so omega-3s from like salmon or mackerel. And you want to have your legumes. This helps with the fiber, protein, and also helps with phytoestrogens. And you want to do, I don't believe in dairy too much, but if you do happen to do some dairy, you want it to be maybe a low-fat dairy, okay? But you can get your calcium from other sources, okay? Now, the foods that you want to avoid, these are foods that actually help to worsen the symptoms that you're dealing with when you're dealing with going through full-fledged menopause. You want to stay away from caffeine. Again, this triggers the hot flashes and the anxiety. Alcohol, as we talked about last week, it's very similar. Of course, this affects the sleep and your hormone balance. And then you have sugary foods. Now, this is not good, even if you're not going through this. But this helps to worsen the mood swings and also cause weight gain. Highly processed foods encourages inflammation in your body. And of course, it's poor nutrition, period. Spicy foods, that's new. Now, this can trigger hot flashes in some women. So remember, it's too spicy, especially around this time period, some women can experience hot flashes. High sodium foods, okay? That helps to, of course, increase osteoporosis and heart disease, okay? So, it's not really something you probably don't know in a sense, because bad food is bad food, right? No matter how you look at it, okay? Now, when you're going through menopause, sometimes doctors, they do put you on some type of hormone replacement therapy, and this can help with hot flashes and vaginal symptoms, okay? But there are risks. There are risks to it. And then sometimes they'll put you on antidepressants because, of course, if you come in and you tell them, I'm moody, things are going on, I don't know, I can't control my anxiety, I don't know what's going on. And you're having the hot flashes. Sometimes the doctors are like, here antidepressants, right? But, I bring this up to you not because I'm a big fan of this. I'm just letting you know what to expect if you go to the doctor and you talk to him about what you're going through and he realizes that you're going through menopause. These are some of the suggestions that he may give you. He also may give you vaginal estrogen, and this helps with dryness, as I mentioned down there, or even discomfort. Okay? But there are more natural things. Now, there's something called cognition behavioral therapy, CBT. Okay, this helps a lot with your anxiety, and it's natural, and it's not something that you have to worry about taking, but it does help with anxiety. It can help also with depression. You can do mindfulness and relaxation techniques. Okay, that's another good thing, and it's natural. And then there are herbal supplements that you can take. I mentioned a few last week. Okay, and some women feel good going to an acupuncturist to help with some of the relief of symptoms. Okay? So, some of the supplements that you can take more natural way. Because like I said, I wanted to tell you the unnatural way that the doctors are going to recommend, but you can always go the natural way. And that's what I always recommend. But some of the supplements that you can take vitamin D. That helps with your bone health. That helps also with your immune support. As we talked about, calcium. This helps prevent any type of osteoporosis. You want to do magnesium, and that's for sleep, and that helps with your mood, and that helps with your bones. You want to take a look at omega-3 fatty acids. Again, that helps with mood. It helps with brain, and it helps with your heart. You want to do a B complex vitamins, and that helps with your energy and your stress. Okay? We talked about black cohosh, and that helps with hot flashes. But you don't want to take that for a long period of time. Okay? It's not recommended. It's just for a short-term use. Okay? You want to do evening primrose oil, and this helps with the breast pain and mood. You also want to take a look at red clover. That helps with phytoestrogens. Okay? And then we have ashwagandha, and that's an adaptogen that we talked about as well, and that helps with stress. But I always mention, whenever you're dealing with any type of these supplements or any type of adaptogens, you want to make sure that if you're taking medicine, that you want to check with your healthcare provider first to make sure that it's not going to do anything to cause the medicine to either not work well or work too well. Meaning, if it's not, when I say work too well, we don't want to increase the dosage, because if it helps to increase the dosage absorption in your body, that can cause problems too. So we want to make sure and check. I always recommend that. Now, people ask me, what are some of the exercises when a woman's going through menopause? Because you know what? You're so drained. You're dealing with fatigue as well. And what can you do, right, to kind of, help with that transitional period? So you can do things like yoga and Pilates. This helps to reduce the stress. It helps improve your flexibility and your mood. You can also do resistance training. Okay, that helps to maintain your bone mass and your muscle. You can do things like cardiovascular, things like brisk walking. You can do cycling. You can do swimming. Okay, and this all supports your heart health as well as your weight control. Because remember, I said that you start to gain weight, especially in your abdomen. Okay. You can do high intensity interval training. This helps with your metabolism. This will help with your weight management. You do it as much as you can, Just tolerate as much as you can with it. Don't overexert yourself. Okay? And you can do balance exercises. This helps to prevent falls and improve your core strength. your core strength, which is your stomach. So you want to make sure and improve that. And also you improve that by getting it strong and helping to decrease the size of it. So this way you can, build that strength there. Okay. So you want to aim like for 150 minutes of moderate activity per week. That's not a lot. I always say start small and build yourself up. But the key is to do something. Because when you start seeing those changes, especially in your stomach, you're going to be like, what is happening? Right? So we want to try to prevent some of that. Now, some juices that you can drink during your menopause time, okay? And these are juices that can help too. Just regular juices I want to mention. So pomegranate juice, for instance, that's rich in phytoestrogens and antioxidants. Okay? And you can get that in the stores. And you can also make it yourself, which is even better. You can do beetroot juice. This actually supports your blood flow and your stamina. And if you do a carrot and flaxseed smoothie, right, that can help with the fiber and also hormonally balances you. You can also do soy milk smoothies. Add soy milk into your smoothie. And that's a good source of isoflavones. Okay? And green juice, like kale, cucumber, celery. These are detoxifying and they're also very hydrating at the same time. All right. Now, as you know, we get to that point where I have a gift for you. It's always pertaining to what I'm talking about. And I do that because if you were in my office, I always like to give my clients gifts. But since we're not in the office and I can't do that, I want to give a gift to you of what we're talking about into either a smoothie or a juice form, because in that way you can start immediately, as of today if you like, as long as you can. And you can start to eradicate some of those symptoms that you're having. You can start getting to work on it. If you're going through perimenopause right now and slowly getting into that phase, the transitional phase, you can start to do things, right, to help towards your health. Because remember, what we do here is we have power in our plate here. And the proper nutrition can help to eradicate a lot of symptoms. And that's what we want to do naturally. So we're going to do a menopause support smoothie. Okay? Now this smoothie is going to help with your menopause symptoms like hot flashes, mood swings, sleep issues, and hormone imbalance. So we're going to take 1 cup of unsweetened soy milk. It could be almond also or flax milk with the added calcium. Okay. And 1 tablespoon of ground flax seeds, which is rich in lignans and omega-3s. We're going to do a half banana. This is help with the sweetness of the juice and potassium. We're going to do a half cup frozen berries, so blueberries, raspberries, which provide excellent antioxidants to you. We're going to do a handful of spinach for the magnesium and calcium. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of almond butter, which is a healthy fat, and it provides protein. We're going to do 1/4 of avocado. Now, this helps with the fiber. This also helps with hormone-supporting fats. We're going to do a half teaspoon of cinnamon. This helps to balance your blood sugar. And you can add, if you like, 1 scoop of a plant-based protein powder. Or if you want to do a collagen peptide, you can do that as well. You want to blend all of the ingredients together in your blender. Blend until it's nice and smooth and creamy. You can go ahead and add your ice or a little liquid if you like, depending upon if you want to smooth out the consistency a little bit, and you want to drink. Now, this works because, of course, soy milk and flax seeds contain the phytoestrogens that mimic the estrogen in the body. Okay? Magnesium and spinach helps to reduce anxiety, and it supports sleep. And remember, these are things that you can do even if you're not going through menopause at this time. For instance, if you want to do a juice with magnesium and spinach to help with anxiety and support your sleep, you can still do that even now. The healthy fats like the avocado and the almond butter, that helps to regulate your hormones. Okay? Now, the berries and the cinnamon combat inflammation and sugar cravings. Did you know that can do that? The berries and the cinnamon? See, you have to hang out here. Or I'm going to give you the goods. Okay? All right. Now, I have another. See, now last week I gave you 2, and I said, well, I'm going to give you 2 this week as well. This will be our hormone balancing juice to help with the menopause, right? So this one, make sure you're writing this down. You want to do 1 small beet, which helps support your liver and detox blood flow. Carrot, 2 carrots. That's going to help with the beta carotene for your skin and hormone balance. 1 cucumber, which is hydrating and cooling. Remember, you're going through those hot flashes. 1 celery stalk, which is for anti-inflammatory, and that's also rich in minerals. 1 apple, that helps to add actual natural sweetness to this drink, and also fiber. A half lemon that's peeled, which is alkalizing and detoxifying. And a 1/2 inch or piece of ginger, which helps with fresh ginger. And that helps to reduce inflammation and supports your digestion. And if you like to add a 1/2 cup of pomegranate seeds, which is also rich in phytoestrogens and also antioxidants, remember we talked about that a few moments ago, you can add that as well. You want to make sure that you wash your produce thoroughly. You want to go ahead and put everything into your juicer. And you want to make sure, though, that you drink this immediately. Okay? Because when you're juicing, the quicker you drink the juice, the better the absorption for your nutrients for it to reach your body. Okay? And just to kind of go over again why this particular juice works is because beets and carrots support estrogen detox and liver health. Cucumber and celery help to reduce bloating, and it helps to cool the body. And then the lemon and ginger, that helps to support digestion, and that also helps to reduce hot flashes. See? Natural things can actually help to reduce those hot flashes. And pomegranate, which is optional, that also contains natural estrogens. So when you do this juice, though, you want to make sure that you drink this juice mid-morning or early afternoon. You can do this at least 3 to 4 times a week to support your symptoms, to help to encourage relief and help to build your energy levels. Okay? Perfect. So guys, I hope that by hearing today about menopause, what is it? When do we know we're in it? What age it happens to occur? What are some of the foods that you want to incorporate into your diet to help with your symptoms? And what are foods you want to stay away from? What are some of the treatments that you will, if you're going to your doctor, what he's going to tell you to do? And what are some natural treatments that you can do to help? And what are some of the smoothies and juices that you can take naturally to help with your symptoms? The thing is about educating. That's the most important thing, is to educate yourself. So when you're going through things like perimenopause or menopause, that you're not, walking around not knowing what's going on. I hear so many people talking like they're going through these symptoms and they have no clue that that's what's happening, because it's such a mystery around menopause as well as perimenopause. My goal is always to debunk everything and let you know naturally what can be done and how you can take back your plate. And I'm so happy. I feel better, as you could probably tell. My voice goes out a little bit time, but just a little bit. But I'm definitely feeling much better. Thank you so much for being patient with me and hanging out with me. And if you want to get some help with going through perimenopause or menopause, where you can get a customized program that's dedicated to you individually, I'm here. As you know, I'm a functional nutritionist. And you can always go to www.nutritionudesign.com to book an appointment with me. I would love to go over everything with you and build a custom program just for you. And if you're interested in supplements, I do have practitioner-based supplements that you will not find in stores. I represent over 200 different practitioner-based supplements, and you give me a call and we can work on that one as well. I can help you with many things to get you to take back your plate and give the power to you again, okay? If you want to work that way. As you know, wellness is not just a journey, it is a lifestyle, as I always say each week. I so much enjoyed you guys listening. Be sure that you share this podcast so you can get more tips, more information, and be informed, okay? And also make sure that you like it. So this way you can get those notifications when I post again. Sometimes I post, most of the time I post once a week, but sometimes I might do two. Depends. But in any case, this will help you to stay abreast. I thank you guys so much for listening. That's what I'm here for. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I would love to help you in any way I can. I hope that you have a great rest of the week. And thanks again for listening to me. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.